Here's my tent setup I've got going on here. I have my sleeping bag. I've got my thermarest. On my thermarest, I have little blobs of silicone patch material here, or shoe goo, or whatever you want to use here, but just basically little sticky kind of material. I'm having a hard time focusing here. There we go. Little sticky kind of material here, and I just glob that all over down the pad, and that helps to keep the sleeping bag from sliding all over the place on it. And I do that on the top and on the bottom, and it keeps the pad from sliding around. I got my sleeping bag. I have two pillows here, two stuffed pillows actually. This one here is the pillow for my head. This one here, I just put my my rain gear in it, and a sweater. And this I use to. This is great because you're not always going to have a perfectly level ground to put your tent on, and so often you're kind of going one way or the other throughout the night. You're kind of sliding, but this is great because you just put it on the side that you're going towards, and it keeps you from rolling in that direction. So you just kind of hug that onto that side of your body, and it keeps you from rolling all over the place. That works really well. That's actually really helped my sleep. The other one is just a larger stuffed pillow here with all of my clothes in it. I've got my big heavy sweater on the top of it, and then everything else inside. And that works great for my main pillow. I've got reading material here. I just brought a magazine. I don't actually read that much. By the time I come to bed, I'm usually pretty tired. I read a couple of paragraphs, and I am out. So Backpacker magazine is always a good one. And it's relatively light, and it fits well in the map case. I usually bring the map case in as well, just kind of go over my next day and that sort of thing. I keep my camera. This is my other camera. The camera which I am actually using right now is this one right here. This is the Canon Fixia HFR 100. And this thing has been really great. It's high def. This is the camera that I did all of my other videos with. Well, this one or the previous versions of it I've been upgrading as it came out with new versions. I've got my headlamp, which is the Black Diamond Spot. Best headlamp out there right now, hands down in my opinion. I've tried a bunch of them that are currently available. I've got my buff. This here I would use as a hat at night if it gets pretty chilly. I have my air horn, just in case I have any animals that can't be persuaded to leave. I've got my knife. The GPS, this has an alarm on it, which I use. This is just the case for my camera that I'm currently holding. This is my pack, which has all my general supplies in it. But it has my watch on it. That's the main thing I use it for. But in here, it's just my nothing I'd actually use in the tent, really. I usually just keep this with me at all times. It just has general supplies that I use often. I've got my water bottle here. Up here, I have my socks are drying. These are all the bags and stuff for everything that's in the tent, like my thermarest, whatnot. And last but not least, we have Maddy's sleeping bag right here. And this has been really good for this trip, especially. It's been quite cool at night, and I'd wake up and Maddy would just be shivering, and all I have to do is open this up and she just crawls right in, and gives her a nice sleep as well. I don't like to think that she's freezing her butt off while I'm toasty warm in my sleeping bag. So anyways, that's the general setup. Well, it was a fine sight, and it saved my butt last night. But we're going to take our leave today, and I'm going to position ourselves on Lake Live, or on Lac La Vielle to help us for tomorrow. So this way, if there is any wind, I won't have to deal with it because we're going to be right at the mouth of the river that we're going to be starting in. And I generally don't have to deal with wind there. And it's going to be a relatively long day anyways. It's about 20 kilometers, so I don't want to make it any longer with the distance from here to the start. So we just packed up. I haven't had breakfast or anything yet. I'm going to have that once we get there. It should take about an hour, hour and a half. It's about 9 o'clock right now. Well, this has been the goal of the trip. And there it is. This is Lac La Vielle. It's a bit of a difficult lake to get into. So we're just going to posture for tomorrow's start point. And there is an island which is right there. And we're either going to stay on that or just behind it. And just behind that is the entrance into the river, which is Crow River. And that's where we're going to be starting tomorrow. And we've got 16 portages. Well, I'm really not able to catch too much of a break on this trip with the weather. It looked like it was going to be all right. And really starting to kick up pretty quickly here. Luckily my site is right there. I'm going to take this island site and we'll hunker down. But boy, I tell you, I'm going to be in the wind again. The water doesn't look too bad, but it's starting to roll out there, and the wind is just picking up. So I'm just going to get ready for that. All right, well, we're just getting things set up. I got the boat up here, wedged between these trees. This is going to act as an extra wind block. There's no wind really coming in here, but that's just to keep it down to absolute zero. Tarp is up pretty high, but it's because there's no wind in here. And it keeps the lines out of the way, it keeps them over your head, so that way you're not strangling yourself on them. And it started to rain, so the nice thing about having a freestanding tent, once you get the tarp up, then you can just start setting it up underneath. This isn't down or anything yet, and I can get the fly on top and everything, and then all I do is just scooch it out a little bit over here, peg it down, and I'm done. And then I still have under the tarp where I can do all my cooking and whatnot. I was hoping that we wouldn't be getting much in the way of rain, but we are, so I changed things up a little bit here just to give me really good security. I rigged the tarp down low and moved the boat a little further around here. And I even tied it to the tree here to keep it from coming forward. And so this gives like a really nice block and enough height that I can sit in it all right. So we have everything here. I can get into the tent without getting soaked. Maddy is under the tent right now. I've got all my stuff here. So we're in good shape. Well, it's lucky for me that this is my off day because it's not looking great out there. I'm just enjoying my coffee here while the weather, well, hopefully passes, although to be honest, I don't think it's going to change much for the most of today. It's about 12 o'clock right now, and we're one day past our halfway point. Oh, here comes some more rain. I mean, it's been a great trip. No two ways about that. Seen a lot of great sights, and the one thing about covering that kind of distance, you get to see just more stuff. So that has been really nice. Anyways, I'm just going to enjoy some more coffee here and do a little bit of reading and maybe start planning out my next trip. Really enjoying this little shelter here. It's really nice knowing that it could just really kick up. I almost kind of hope it does, because if it's going to rain, it might as well rain big. Ah, I love it. I'd said to bring it on, and it is, it's bringing it on. I haven't moved from this spot for very long. Been sitting here drinking coffee and reading for a while. Maddy's still under the tarp, but you know what? I love it. Oh, this is good. I'm getting excited because we have right here, oh boy, we got a patch of blue. That's it. Everything else here is black. Black everywhere. Dark, black. nasty clouds. But this little patch of blue, I don't know where that came from, but oh, it's lovely. We're sitting out for this one. A new piece of gear that I got is the as a new map case. So I already had one before. I can't remember what the brand was, but it got a hole in it, and it just became a mess. It just wasn't didn't stay waterproof for very long. This one is, and it was also very hard to do up. It had like a Ziploc seal at the top, and it was very hard to do up, especially in the winter. In the winter, it was impossible. I remember my note to self was, do not undo the map case in the winter. This is Sea to Summit, and I am really loving this company. The map case, their X-Bowl, their X-Cup, their waterproof compression sacks. I mean, pretty much anything that Sea to Summit makes, they tend to make it better than anybody else. That's been my experience. This one here works where it's got a just a Velcro seal there, and then it just rolls up. And then you can easily access whatever you want inside here. And then you just roll it up like so. And that's it. So that goes from being really hard to do and undo to just being able to do it with one hand. And this thing has been great so far. It's really a nice size as well. They do make one that is larger. In this case, I keep my my map. I've got two in here right now, actually. I've got one which has the topo view on it, and I've got the standard Algonquin map. I've just been using the standard Algonquin. It's been fine. And in here, I've got my spare saw blade. Where is it? Right here. I've got a cutting board. I kept my magazine in here. All in all, I just really wanted to say that the Sea to Summit map case is great. So while we have a little bit of sunshine going on right now, and it's not raining, I'm going to see what I can do about doing a wash. My stuff here, I'm going to do my pants and my shirts. I mean, this stuff, I don't know if you can see, but it is just filthy. And what I've got here is I've got one of my waterproof bags, and I'm just going to go ahead and stuff these guys into this bag. And I'm going to go down to the lake, and I'm going to add some water, and then I'll put in some soap. And I've got here is the biodegradable soap that you would get at any of your outdoor outfitters. This is the same stuff that I use to do the dishes. We'll add that in, and then get this stuff a mix, and then we'll get out the tough spots in our little portable sink. Okay, so I've gone ahead and added the water. It's right up to about here. And I'm going to take my soap here, and we'll squeeze some of that into here. And then we'll lock this up. Give it a roll on the top, leave some air in there. Pinch that closed. Like that. And now we'll just shake it up. And just kind of loosen things up in here. I want to keep this up for a few minutes. Alright, so this stuff is well shaken up here. I've let it sit for about 5 minutes. Now whenever you're using the biodegradable soap, you don't want to be using it directly in the lake because it's biodegradable whenever it's used on land. You just want to make sure that wherever you use it, it's not going to be running off directly into the lake. You want to make sure that it's going to be soaking into the ground before it would hit the water, and so that way it will get absorbed into the ground, and then that's where it'll break down. So we're going to add in a little more water here. Oh yeah, that's some dark water. Alright. Yeah, much better. Okay, now we'll set that one aside, and then we'll go to the pants. Not so much smelly with these ones, but just dirty. I want to try to push the water through it, through the material. Get the dirt out of all the little pores there. I'm just going to repeat that with all the rest of the clothes, handkerchiefs that I've got. And then I'll give them one final quick rinse in the lake once everything's pretty much out of them. And we'll hang them up to dry. And this line that I put up here, it's actually 2 cords. It's 2 lines, and so I put up the one, and then I put another one, and I twisted it around it. And so I put them on nice and tight. So they're actually, I don't know if you can see here, but there's 2, and they're all twisted. So you can actually take stuff and stick them in between, and it'll hold tight. And I'll show you what I mean. Yeah, so this is what I was talking about here, where you take the 2 lines and you twirl the one around the other, and then you just pinch the items in between those lines, like so. And with the collar, when you put that through, you put the collar through, and then you take, so the collar comes through here, and then you just take it and you wrap it around, and then pinch it through the next loop. So you bring it through, bring that little corner piece around, and that really kind of secures it. With the sleeves, as long as you have the buttons here on the top, then those aren't going to be able to pull through, so that works well like that. As you can see, this line can really hold on to the clothes quite tightly, even whenever they're really blowing here. It holds on quite strong.